Okay, so this is going to be a really quick video on how to take a hay sample without a hay probe using Equi-Analytical, and they are through Dairy One. So hay probe is the best way to take a hay sample is what I'm told. I still have to refine how I'm using mine. I'm not convinced I got a good sample last time. So, especially on the stringier hay. So I'm going to go through here, and what you want to do is you want to open up a couple bales if possible. I'm only going to open up one today because I took half my sample yesterday. But open up a bale, go inside the bale. So there's my bale, it's opened up. That's the front half. There's the middle half. I'm going to grab a handful of hay out of this, like over here, and I'm going to bring it over to my pan right there. You don't have to use a pan, obviously. You can use a box or a bucket or whatever. And ideally, you'd want to do this with multiple bales so that you can get a more accurate picture of what you're feeding and not just what the analysis for that one bale is. But like I said, I did that yesterday. And I just need a rough estimate. Let's see if I can get this thing to... Okay. So, and then what you want to do is you want to chop it. You want to chop your sample down to like 1/2-inch pieces, so you like ball it up. And you just start cutting. And you can watch me do it, I guess. That's annoying. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut enough sample to fill one of these quart-sized bags, and you're going to want to label it in a way that you can identify which sample goes to which hay you sampled. And yeah, so as soon as I get a decent amount cut, I'm going to show you what size my pieces are. Cut, cut, cut. And you kind of blunt a pair of scissors doing this. It's not my favorite, but it's the way I've always done it. I just got the hay probe this year. I have to make sure that it works, and it keeps trying to fall apart on me. And I do not love it. But scissors still work, and my hands still work reasonably well. So. And my geese are going to complain that their breakfast isn't being served right now. Okay, that'll be good enough. So yeah, you just want your hay sample to look kind of like that. Here's like my finger for scale. You want to try to like not have these big pieces, but they're going to happen anyway. They have an option on the form where you can pay them $10 and have them chop your sample. But when I chopped my sample like this and I tried to pay them $10, they gave me my money back. So I don't know. I assume they'll take it up with you if they need to do that. And you just put it in your bag. Don't lose any of the powder. And you label your bag, which I didn't bring stuff out to do. And you get your paperwork filled out, and the paperwork is not hard. You do need to email if you're a new account to the system, and I think everyone might be this year. Although it's been a good year or two since I've done a good hay sample, so maybe it's the year before, but you email these guys for an account so that you can prepay and pay online or whatever. And you just fill it out with your name, address, phone number, and email. And I don't think they actually call you. I think they just send the results to your email. You don't need to do anything with this. Don't worry about that. That's if you buy a prepaid kit from them and stuff. For sample type, you're going to want to write hay. I think they also do forage and grain testing, but you're not doing that today. Description, date sampled. That should be whatever you labeled your bag as. So, if this is like my crabgrass hay, so I'm going to write crabgrass hay, and if I had multiple piles of crabgrass hay from different fields, I'd write crabgrass hay 1 or whatever. I put that here, and I put the date it sampled. And as far as these packages go, if you know you live in a selenium and copper deficient area, you don't really need to buy the more expensive one, is what I'm deciding, because then there's a lot more factors that go into copper and selenium deficiency than just what your hay is. Although it's nice to have a picture of it occasionally, so it's totally up to you. You can get the cheaper one that's $20, and it gives you what you want to know is the crude protein, especially for goats, crude protein, and then calcium and phosphorus. You also need to pay attention to the ADF and NDF if they give it to you. Yeah, you're fine there. ADF and NDF, you don't want it to be too high in fiber so the goats can't use it. And then they just poop it out the back like you would if you ate something stupid that had a lot of fiber. Like, I don't know, apple peelings or something. A lot of apple peels or something. Because they need to be able to hold it into in their system long enough to digest it. But too little fiber does cause them to founder, but you're not gonna have to deal with that with hay. These things are not needed for your basic goat hay sample unless you specifically want something on here, but you do need to send in the paperwork together, otherwise they'll consider it insufficient paperwork. And then you just put it in a padded envelope. I like the padded ones because I feel like sometimes the paper ones can get stuck in, like the big padded envelopes at the post office. Whichever one fits your sample. The paper ones I feel like can sometimes get caught in the machine and then rip open and then you lose your samples. The padded ones, they're a little more prepared for them to be bulky, and your envelope's going to be a little bit bulky. So I think, is that it? And then you just mail it to the address up here, and they get it in like 3-4 days here currently, and then they give you the results back the next week via email. Nobody calls you. Definitely check your spam box if you don't get it. I think that's it. I think that's the hardest part of hay sampling. You should always remember that different fields and different cuttings are going to have different analysis, different amounts of protein because of rainfall and nitrogen and stuff. And my battery's about to die, so I'm going to end there. Bye-bye.